Hi, welcome back or welcome to my channel if you're new. My name is Laura. Hi, hello, welcome. Today we are going to be doing a ranking video on all of the items that I have purchased myself that have come into my collection this year, at least cosmetics, or like what I would put in like an everyday routine. This is not going to include for the most part skincare. I have some SPFs in here, but I count those in like my makeup realm for the most part, unless it's like a body SPF. So I'm super excited. I have a very wide array and I just took a couple minutes and organized them in like what I would say like is the most exciting to like the very least exciting, probably wouldn't repurchase. And now saying that, I'm gonna swap that and that. Okay, I have a good array in how I want to talk about them with you today. So I'm going to start on the highs and then we're going to go to the products that are ranked the lowest. Just because I want to kind of start this video on like a high note, get it going, get it started, get it happy, exciting, you know? So the first item that I purchased this year that I am top tier excited about is this guy, and this is the Plain Jane Remastered palette by Adept Cosmetics. I had this going in my Pan Those eyeshadows. This is such a stunning palette. It's mostly a palette of topper shades, I would say, but you can definitely create like standalone look. Well, I guess not like a standalone look, but you can incorporate any of these shades into like lid looks and look amazing. There are a couple of these like darker based multi-chromes, and then the rest are more of the lighter based. There's definitely some sheer based and like topper type kind of shadows in this palette, but super, super stunning. I also like that, I believe it's all of Adept's palettes. I could be very well mistaken. I know this one, it's magnetic, so you can pop the shades out and kind of rearrange them as you want. I've already actually popped every shade out, labeled them, and stuck them back in just in case I want to ever put this into like BYOPs or anything like that. But I am very happy about this coming into my collection this year. I did use I also have to shout out Adept for always having like the discount codes and like affiliate codes just on their website. So you don't have to like search and find someone's affiliate code. It's like, no, we know you're going to use it. We know you want to use it. Here they are. So I really like that about them. But this is going to get tucked back because I rolled it out of my Pan Those eyeshadows, but gone but not forgotten out of that project. Keeping on the train of eyeshadows, I guess, eyeshadows are always the most exciting. So whenever I buy one, it's typically going to be something I'm very excited about. But this is the KVD Vegan Beauty Dazzle Stick. Now, I ended up purchasing this. At my store at Ulta, we do these things called return to vendors, and this was part of like those items that was getting returned, and this is incredible. I have to say, like, this is absolutely incredible. I know I didn't swatch anything in the Plain Jane palette, but like that is so wet and metallic and just a yummy eyeshadow, if I'm gonna be quite honest. Like, that is incredible. They stay on the eyes very well throughout the day too, so I don't ever really have to worry about like things shifting and having to tap it out again. It just kind of works and it stays in place. So I'm really happy that I brought this into my collection this month. Yes, it's very, very new in my collection, but I already know like this is going to be a favorite for me because I love those kinds of like shades that have like a terracotta base. It has like green and gold and orange and yellow, and I don't know why I'm doing these like little symbol hands, you know what I'm talking about, like the finger symbols. Anyway, moving from the trajectory of eyes, my third item that I'm so happy, so thankful that's in my collection right now, but also so sad that it's in my collection. I found out I liked it after the brand is leaving Ulta, and that is the CoverFX Perfect Setting Powder in the shade Translucent Light. And I have to say, this is the perfect setting powder for me. This is so nice. It really sets down the makeup. It makes everything that I put on top of it blend seamlessly. It allows me to really bake if I want to without like making it look creepy on my under eyes or anything like that. So I am super happy that this is in my life. I am super sad that I will never be able to, well, I can purchase this. Let's not go crazy, but your girl's going to be shopping at Ulta since I work there. So then another face product that I'm super happy came into my life, the Supergoop Resetting Mist. Now, I don't know if this is going to be like a good setting, like a traditional setting spray, but this is really lovely in the summer months that I am finding myself in here in Michigan. It's been like 90 plus degrees. Today is a bad example of a nice sunny hot summer day because it is like 80 degrees and it is thunderstorming today. So if the lighting is weird, that is why. But I really have enjoyed this for when I'm at home and I want to go outside and like come in and out and in and out. I don't have to worry about like, oh my gosh, I need to wash my makeup off and put sunscreen on. Your girl has this. I just spritz it on my face and then I'm good to go. And the mister's a little aggressive, but it's not like, it's not the most aggressive mister that I've ever found. Plus, for the purpose of this is reapplicating sunscreen, I don't mind that it's a little bit more aggressive than a fine mist that I want to use to set my face. So this is really nice. It's SPF 40 too, if you were curious, and it's a little mini, so I don't have to worry about like, oh, the full size, I'm not going to go through it in the summer. I will definitely go through that. The next item is actually a set of items that I believe I purchased all this year. If I didn't purchase them all this year, I purchased them the tail end of last year into this year, and I did purchase some of these this year, so I can count them all together, right? That's fine. Something I'm so happy and so thankful and so grateful that I found come into my collection. These guys. These are the LA Girl Shockwave liners. These are, I have some of the metallic, I have one of the metallic, and the rest are just like their traditional Shockwave. One metallic, the rest are neons. I will say out of all of these, the green one called Gotcha is the biggest dud. It just doesn't show up on the eyes that well, but all of these ones are incredible. So we have Dragon, Fresh, Electric, Vivid, I want to say. Yeah, Vivid and Screamin', the yellow. All these ones are incredible. Gotcha is just my biggest dud. So, but overall, definitely one of the standout purchases overall for myself. Ooh, and we are 1/3 of the way through. So moving on to like those are all like the top tier, like would repurchase. This middle tier, I probably would repurchase, but I might think more carefully about it if I were purchasing it again. All that to say, I know the this hunk of items, I definitely could see myself repurchasing except for one item, and we will talk about that then. The first item is, or I guess the sixth item in our list is going to be the Fenty Beauty. These are the Liquid Kilowatt Fluid Freestyle Highlighters, and this is in the shade Sidekick. This is incredible. It comes in like a squeezy tube applicator, which I didn't realize I liked this kind of applicator for a liquid highlight, but it makes it a very enjoyable experience. But this is that shade Sidekick right there. It's a really nice soft gold highlight. I think the reason I like this so much is I feel like this shade of gold, being a lighter shade of gold, is kind of hard to find in a liquid highlight, because I feel like as brands go lighter, they tend to make them more pink toned highlighters, or like just cool toned in general. I think brands think that, oh, you're fair, so you must be pink. But I like that this is like a nice gold sheen, and it's not like too flashy on the skin, so it doesn't look like Tin Man kind of thing. So definitely love that one. Moving to the Tin Man kind of highlights, these guys. This is a brief one because I've talked about these before on my channel. I panned an entire one of these and a dupe version of one of these last year. This is the CoverFX Custom Enhancer Drops, and I have mine in the shade Celestial and Sunlight. Now, I won't be able to repurchase these from Ulta anymore, so I probably will not find myself purchasing these anymore. I'll just find alternatives like the Fenty one. These are definitely more of that Tin Man kind of glow of a highlight. Very metallic, very reflective, very beautiful. I am using Sunlight today, actually, as a, I mixed it with my primer to make my primer a little more glowy. So I love these. Obviously, I've repurchased them because these are now my 3rd and 4th bottles of these custom enhancers. I gifted Haley one of these. I've gone through minis of these. I love these. I'm obsessed with liquid highlight, if you can't tell. Still keeping on the train of items that I would repurchase, I have a sunscreen to talk about, and this is the La Roche-Posay SPF 50. I am just realizing I have an SPF 62 that I don't have in here, but I would kind of lump them together. So the La Roche-Posay SPFs have truly impressed the heck out of me. The only thing that I will say about them is this one and the other one that I'm using right now is an SPF 60 with no tint. They both kind of have like a funky smell, and I think it's like the packaging itself has a very pungent scent that I feel like the sunscreens have that pungent scent. It does dissipate, but it's definitely like, oh, all up front. So we're going to keep on the sunscreen train, and one that is kind of like, duh, I love this sunscreen so much. This is the Supergoop Unseen Sunscreen SPF 40. Now, it ranks lower because I've had this before, and obviously I've repurchased it before. So I knew kind of that, I knew what I was getting. So like, we knew I liked this. It actually didn't rank higher than my La Roche-Posay ones, but because I didn't know what to expect with those ones. Whereas this one, I knew what I was getting. I knew I liked it. So of course, it's going to fall in the middle ground category, even to the tail end of the middle ground category, just because, again, we've seen her. I talk about her. So item number 10 out of 15 is actually this guy here. This is the Fenty Beauty Ease Drop Blurring Skin Tint. And I've, again, found myself like on days where I want something super fresh and light, these are really great. I also like this more now because I have gotten a little darker. I did buy it a little bit dark. I have mine in the shade 7 if you're curious, but this is just a really light, simple, easy light coverage, doesn't take a lot of effort to blend out kind of foundation. Again, dropper foundation, super, super light coverage, but I find myself really enjoying those on days where I know I'm going to be running around a lot more than normal, and I kind of want something that's going to fade gracefully. So that is it. You can't even see it because it now blends in with my hand. So that's kind of rounding out like the would repurchase them at some point. And then kind of the tail end of this now is like, I probably wouldn't repurchase it. I could live without it. I don't need it. Middle of the ground, like middle of the ground to like not great, you know, this guy. And this is the CoverFX Monochromatic Bronzer Duo. And realistically, the only reason I have ranked this so low is one, because I have other bronzers that I'm panning, so I haven't really given this a whole heck of a lot of love in my collection yet. Two, again, can't buy CoverFX from Ulta anymore, which is going to deter me from actually purchasing it. It's beautiful, don't get me wrong. The formula from what I've used is incredible, but do I really think that I'm going to wear a super shimmery bronzer like this? Probably not. Like, that's not really my aesthetic anymore. Like, maybe at one point it was. I like to top my bronzer with it occasionally, but I definitely think that I'm more of a matte bronzer kind of gal, and I think that I just, like, part of me fell for the hype with this, but part of me was like, I want to experience it for myself. Another one that has grown on me more the longer I've used it, but my first initial impression was not the greatest on it. This Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Soft Matte Powder Foundation. Mine is in the shade 150. The reason why I put this so low in this isn't because it's not a great powder. It gets the job done kind of powder. Now, I haven't tried this as like an actual foundation powder, so I can't really like tell you the longevity on this. I typically use this as a touch-up powder or as a setting, like a pressed setting powder that gives me a little bit of coverage. I don't know if you can tell up here, I had quite a bit of hard pan when I was first using this. And I think it's because I was putting it on top of an SPF to kind of tamper the SPF down after, like, it was a mist SPF. It was the Ulta Beauty one. And I think that caused a lot of the hard pan, but I did do the tape trick where you put a piece of Scotch tape or washi tape on and like remove the hard pan, and it came back. Now I've kind of scraped and like done the tape trick again, and it has kind of acted fine this time, but I do find that if I am setting down my like cream liquid bases, anything that has a little wetness to it, I have to be extremely careful when I'm using something like this, which isn't how I want to do my makeup. I don't want to have to be cautious and have like I have to wait a minute before I dip my brush back in here, and then you like wipe your brush off, and then like that's annoying. That's so annoying. So this one's just ranked low because of that reason. Maybe if I use this for its intended purpose as a powder foundation, I would like it more, but how I use it, I don't like it that much. So there's that. I wouldn't go out of my way to repurchase that. I'm sure there's more cost-effective pressed foundations. This is the CoverFX Blurring Primer Plus Pore Minimizer. Now, the reason I wouldn't, like, this is kind of like a run-of-the-mill one, the texture of this when it comes out is super gross. Like, it just, I don't know if you'll really be able to tell. It just looks chunky. When it comes out of the tube, it looks chunky. And that's definitely off-putting with it. It feels incredible on the skin. It has like such a soft, pillowy feeling to it. Very whipped kind of silicone, dimethicone primer. I really enjoy this when I have worn it. And I mean, I have had it for not that long. And I mean, I've used it like a handful, like 5 or 6 times now. Really enjoyed every time I used it. My makeup looked so pretty, so blurred when I had that on. So I know in my heart of hearts, I love testing new primers. And if I find a holy grail primer, I'm going to just repurchase that one while I test other primers. Right now, the NYX Marshmallow Primer is my favorite primer. So once I finish that, I'll repurchase that, but then continue to fluctuate through different primers. This is just like a run-of-the-mill, like okay primer. Wouldn't repurchase it, didn't knock my socks off. Then I'm lumping these together as one item because I bought them at the same time, and I don't know why I bought them at the same time for the same exact purpose. My concealers. I have the CoverGirl True Blend Undercover Concealer in the shade Classic Ivory or L400, and then the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer in the shade Light Peach. They're very similar. They look the darn same. Maybe one is slightly lighter. I think this e.l.f. one is just maybe not on camera, but in person, the e.l.f. one looks a touch softer. Now, did I need to buy 2 concealers at the exact same time? No, but we have them now and they're fine. Just because I hyper-focus in my Project Pan items, I haven't really been wowed by these as much as I did also have the IT Cosmetics by Undereye concealer come into my collection via work through Gratis. So they just don't knock my socks off. I purchased them to try them. I wouldn't repurchase them because they just haven't really done anything exceptional. And then the absolute worst item that I bought this year, I've already finished it and I bought it in February. The CoverGirl, what are you? Age Rewind, Simply Ageless Instant Wrinkle Blurring Pressed Powder in the shade Translucent with, this also has apparently hyaluronic acid and vitamin C complex in it. All of the writing has worn off, but if I tilt it this way, I can barely make out the writing on all of this. But that was this guy. It just didn't wow me. It was just kind of meh, if I'm being honest. Like, when I used this one and then with this one side by side, I was like, oh heavens, this one is so much better. This one just was not great. It just kind of was not good. Kind of bummed that I spent almost $18 on it. Like, that was an expensive drugstore pressed powder for me to be like, it was okay at best. But that is it for this ranking all of the items that I have purchased this year as of within the past 6 months of 2022. Let me know if you've purchased any of these items, if you agree with my ranking on any of these. Let me know if you love any of these items, or even if you hate any of these items and why you love or hate them in the comment section below. I'll have to take a look, and any of those reasons that you guys say, I'll have to pay attention and see if I do or do not like them based on those answers. But that is it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm going to stop rambling now. I have to go take Bandit to get groomed. So I will catch you in the next one. I hope you guys are staying healthy, sane, and safe. Hug someone today. Tell them you love them. Be kind to someone. And I will catch you in my next video. Bye.